Vsauce. I'm Aurel Stine. I see you've let yourself into my home and found my latest work. I'd appreciate it if you'd put that back. You have no idea how dangerous this book is. Inside it, the things that are written are real, and once it is opened, they are released. So please, give me back my book! Oh! What have you done? Oh no, it's already too late. You're on your own.
Vsauce! I'm Jake, and I don't really know why I'm in this kitchen. To be honest, everything's a little bit hazy, but what I do know is that something paranormal is going on. Have you noticed? Oh my gosh, what is that? Is this a mid-century basket weave chair? Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, wow. Now, where were we again? Ah, yes, the paranormal. Now, before we begin our investigation, let's clarify the difference between supernatural and paranormal. Supernatural is a phenomenon that is beyond our ability to understand and doesn't fit within natural law. Paranormal, on the other hand, is a phenomenon that goes beyond what we consider normal and hasn't been scientifically understood yet. An example? Germ theory. That is how germs cause disease. It was thought to be paranormal in the 1700s because scientists didn't understand how it worked. Now, according to my notes, what we supposedly have here is a cursed ventriloquist dummy named Slappy that is somewhere in this house. Did you hear those knocks? Let me guess. That's Slappy that's making that noise. Let's apply Occam's razor for a second. It's a philosophical principle that states that the simplest, the least extraordinary of two ideas is usually the one that is correct. If you hear hooves behind you, think horses, not zebras. So is it an evil dummy that has come to life and is making that ruckus, or is the noise being made by an old falling apart house? Or is even more straightforward than that? For example, do you know about Mr. Splitfoot? No? Well, let me tell you the story of the Fox sisters. In 1848 in Hydesville, a small hamlet in New York, there was the Fox family with their 3 daughters, Maggie, Kate, and Leah. For months, there had been strange knocking in the house, and beds shaking. On the night of March 31st, the day before April Fool's, Kate decided to communicate with the spirit she called Mr. Splitfoot. She did this by clapping 3 times. And a few seconds later, 3 knocks were heard coming from the walls. I'm sure that was just a coincidence, which the Foxes also checked for. They asked Mr. Splitfoot the ages of the sisters, and he correctly knocked out their ages. After more questioning, it was discovered that Splitfoot was actually the spirit of a man who had been murdered in that very house. Success was quick for the Fox sisters. They helped kickstart the spiritualism movement and traveled around the world communicating with spirits in seances. Then in 1888, not being able to bear the weight of guilt, Maggie admitted that it had all been a lie. What started as the girls banging on the floor with an apple tied to a string evolved into them cracking their toe joints to simulate knocking. So in the end, it wasn't some paranormal or spiritual event. It was merely something normal. Just like the knocking we heard earlier was just an old house making noise. See, there's nothing here. Okay, this is funny, but if you could open the door, please. Slappy? Slappy, if you're here, make a sign. Hi. I don't really know what happened in here, but I think I have an idea, or well, really, it's more of a suggestion. In 1977, scientist Michael O'Mahony and the BBC conducted an experiment. They told viewers that they had created a way to transmit smells through sound. They were going to transmit a country smell, and after playing a tone for 10 seconds, the experiment was over and viewers were told to call in and describe their experience. Over 170 said they could smell hay, grass, fruit, and flowers. But of course you can't send smells through a television. What the study showed was the power of expectation, of suggestion was powerful. And this too plays into the paranormal. If we expect something, even if we aren't consciously thinking it, we can create that reality. Like being trapped in a room with the idea of a sentient ventriloquist dummy. Let's try something. Take a photo of me. Oh, how convenient that you just happen to have a Polaroid camera. The power of suggestion is even more persuasive when we add a visual element to it. It could be as simple as sneakily pressing your thumb over the subject in a photo while the photo is still developing. The heat from your finger creates a kind of halo effect around the person's face. But what if you could actually capture a spirit on camera? Well, that's where William H. Mumler comes in. William Mumler was a well-known spirit photographer during the 1860s and 70s. His most famous photo being of Mrs. Lincoln with the ghost of her husband, President Lincoln. His photos were proven to be fake when it was noticed that some of the spirits in his images were found to still be alive. Now, it might seem pretty obvious to us now how easy it would be to create a photo like this, but at the time, photography had only been around for about 30 years, since 1839. Folks were easily fooled with thinking that the spirit in the photo with them was a loved one because they only had their memory to go by. People generally didn't have personal photos at this point in time. But let's move to something more recent, something that wasn't a hoax. On June 15th, 2007, a deputy at a courthouse in Santa Fe, New Mexico, saw a ghost on the surveillance video. You can actually see it right here. It's the glowing object moving across the screen. Paranormal investigator Benjamin Radford went to try and solve just what exactly it was. After exploring a few different theories, the ghost turned out to be a bug. Radford was able to recreate the sightings by having a ladybug run across the camera lens. Again, Occam's razor. Why do our minds jump to the paranormal instead of just normal? In psychologist Richard Wiseman's book, Paranormality, Why We See What Isn't There, he gives an example. Let's look at this symbol. What is it of? If we place an A and a C on either side, it becomes a B. But if we put 12 and 14 around it, it becomes 13. Or could it just be a random symbol? We tend to infer meaning when maybe there really isn't any. As Wiseman states, given the right context, people are skilled at instantly and unconsciously seeing meaning in a meaningless shape. Ah yes, our photo. Let's see if we captured anything paranormal in it. Okay, what's happening? I mean, I feel like I'm going insane, right? You see that, there is a dummy in that photo. Look at it. What do you mean there's nothing in the photo? Okay, I am crazy? I feel like I'm crazy. I mean, I'm seeing a living dummy. I can't remember much from before you showed up, and I feel like there's a giant weight on my chest, like I can't breathe. Wait, I know exactly what's happening. The Nightmare. This 1781 painting by Henry Fuseli depicts exactly what it's titled, a nightmare. We have an incubus, a demon, also the counterpart to the succubus, sitting on a woman's chest, and a horse looking on. This painting also depicts something else. Something can happen when falling asleep or when waking up. You actually might have experienced this yourself. You realize you can't move or talk. You're trapped in your own body and you might feel a weight on your chest and start to see things that aren't there. Sleep paralysis was considered to be the work of demons, which explains Fuseli's painting. However, what was actually happening was this. There are 4 stages to sleep. In stage 1, when you first fall asleep, you generally have 2 types of hallucinations at this point. Hypnagogic imagery, which happens when you're going to sleep, and hypnopompic, which happens when you're waking up. After going through all the stages, you enter REM sleep and begin to dream. At this point, to keep you from acting out the dream and flapping about your limbs, your brainstem blocks your body from moving, making you temporarily paralyzed. Your brain can sometimes get confused, causing you to experience hypnagogic and hypnopompic hallucinations while also experiencing the paralysis of REM sleep. So that must be what's happening. This is all just me hallucinating things while having sleep paralysis. Slappy is my incubus and you're the horse just watching in the shadows. This also explains why I don't really remember anything up until you arriving. So that should be it, right? 3 paranormal phenomena. Wait, what do you mean there are 4? We covered the Fox sisters, paranormal photography, and sleep paralysis. Then what's the 4th? Wait, let me see the book. Oh, no, 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 no. Because if it is what I think it is, then this whole thing has just been the 4th story, Jake says. And he realizes that this was part of the book the entire time. But what he didn't realize was Slappy creeping up behind him. Run! No! Doors locked, windows! Everything's open!
Your friend over there seems like a real dummy. You should probably run now. Boom!
Now, it's okay. It's just a story. But I really wish you'd have listened to me. Once you open the book and let the story out, it changes. You become part of the story. Jake found the book first, and now you've been written in as well. It's time to go in the book. And as always, thanks for reading.
I'd like to thank Jack Black and Slappy and his master, Avery, for being in this video with me. They are in Goosebumps, and as a thank you to them, you should go check it out. It comes out October 16th. It's very good, as are you. You're very good, because you watched this video, and I appreciate you. I'm gonna leave now, because I'm just rambling. Goodbye. I just turned to spaghetti, these legs.